Welcome to your mind. In this inspiring video, we will talk about courage. It is a fundamental trait that can be found in individuals who face adversity with bravery, strength, and determination. It is the force that allows us to overcome our fears and take bold action, even when we feel uncertain or afraid. In this video, we'll explore the nature of courage, its importance in our lives, and how we can cultivate it to overcome the challenges we face. So, if you're ready to discover what it means to be courageous and how you can harness this powerful quality, join us as we embark on this journey of self-discovery and personal growth. Courage is not a trait that is determined solely by biological characteristics of being male. It is a form of strength that must be developed through overcoming obstacles, maturing, and becoming more resilient. However, in modern society, there appears to be a crisis in courage. Many people, especially men, are struggling to find their place in life and are stuck in a state of adolescence despite their biological maturity. Swiss psychologist Marie-Louise von Franz identified this problem as the eternal boy syndrome. She predicted that more and more people would suffer from this in the future, and unfortunately, her prediction has come true. Many men today are unable to step out of their comfort zones and pursue their ambitions, preferring instead to live in a safe and comfortable world. This has led to a rise in virtual activities, such as internet pornography and computer games, as well as a general lack of direction and purpose. To understand why this is happening, we must delve into history and biology. Humans are unique in that we have larger heads, which makes childbirth more difficult and requires a longer period of dependence on our mothers. Luigi Zoya, in his book The Father, argues that mothers and fathers interact with their children in fundamentally different ways due to their biological features. Women who give birth to boys tend to show more attention, care, and physical contact, while fathers tend to focus on their child's future prospects. To overcome this crisis of courage, individuals must be willing to step out of their comfort zones, take risks, and embrace the unknown. It requires a combination of physical, mental, and emotional resilience, as well as a sense of purpose and direction in life. Only then can we achieve the great impossible, as the Iowa Indians called it, and become truly courageous. The relationship between a boy and his mother is a bond that shapes his development. The mother not only provides nourishment but also plays a significant role in addressing the boy's problems. The father, on the other hand, assumes a more distant role, providing protection and resources for the child's growth. The father's role is to help the boy gain independence and break free from the mother's dependence. Girls also go through the process of establishing independence, but they interact differently with their mothers, which influences their development. Girls tend to imitate their mother's behavior, which reinforces their femininity. Boys require a different approach, as they need a male role model to follow. In most cultures, the transition from boyhood to manhood is marked by an initiation ceremony conducted by older men, who serve as cultural bearers of masculinity. During such ceremonies, boys undergo a series of difficult tests and are separated from their mothers. This process symbolizes death, and the boy must emerge from the cave or underground, representing rebirth. The initiation rites serve as a necessary measure to overcome infantilism and prepare the boy for the challenges of adulthood. They help the boy develop the courage needed to fight for the interests of his people. Such rites have been practiced for generations. In the film King Arthur's Sword by Guy Ritchie, we witness how such a transformation can inspire immature guys who are unable to control their childish instincts, fear responsibility, and are unable to bear the heavy load that life puts on them.
Or any desire to achieve it.
That's what all the fuss is about.
Don't worry. You'll soon understand what all the fuss is about.
Are you scared?
I think I can manage.
You should be scared.
A spiritual teacher sends him to the most terrifying place on the island to face and survive pain, fear, and despair, preparing him to conquer the most formidable enemy in the future. According to Romanian historian of religion, fiction writer, philosopher, and professor at the University of Chicago, Mircea Eliade, today's world suffers from the absence of significant rites of passage, and modern boys do not have cultural bearers of masculinity like the elders of the past who were ready to impart wisdom to the next generation. Thus, the burden of this responsibility falls on fathers today. However, not every modern father is capable of this. He must first be independent so that his teenage son wants to go out into the world and seek his own path. The father must lead by example and show his son what is worth searching and fighting for in the world, which is worth leaving the heated and protected place. Unfortunately, such contact between father and son happens very rarely. Research shows that due to excessive desire to protect, mothers are much worse at teaching their children swimming than their fathers. Women are guided by security, but a man must guide his son towards independence. The adolescent without a father has a dominating and patronizing mother, causing him to grow up as an eternal boy stricken with the fear of the cold and rough world. He strives for glory, strength, and courage but refuses to understand and remains forever dependent on the support and approval of women, with his aspirations aimed not at achieving heights but rather at receiving a smile or a physical object from his beloved girlfriend. He seeks to protect himself in an enchanted circle, much like his mother's care for him as an infant, sheltered from all the disturbances of the outside world. This behavior is reinforced in school, where he is taught to obey women from the state apparatus. As he grows up and attends university, he sees the same pattern of behavior being reinforced. The absence of initiation rites and the influence of the family further encourage him to avoid difficulties and immerse himself in a world where everything is under control, and he is protected by his mother, teachers, and the state.
Before we continue, if you're enjoying this video and want to see more content like this, be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications to never miss an upload. And if you found this video informative and engaging, please give it a thumbs up. Remember that your support helps us continue to create content that educates and entertains our viewers.
However, as André Gide said, one cannot discover new oceans if they do not have the courage to lose sight of the shore. In order to find this courage, one must first examine the psychology of the eternal boy. He often lacks decisiveness, spending his time drowning in fantasies and going through hundreds and thousands of potential success options without ever executing any of them. This is what von Franz calls eternal switching, where he starts on one task, then switches to another, and then another, never completing any of them. The eternal boy is unbound and does not seek to bind his existence to one thing, fearing the prospect of a choice that cannot be reversed. He likes to keep the status quo until the right decision comes from somewhere in the outside world, justifying his inaction by claiming that the time has not come, forgetting that he determines when it will come. The inability to choose one's own path is only a symptom, and the main problem is that the eternal boy does not consider the outside world worthy of his attention. He subconsciously compares all prospects with the heavenly cocoon of his mother, finding excuses to avoid things that he deems unworthy of his attention. However, one day he will be faced with a choice, and he will either fall into the abyss of weaknesses or begin his journey into courage and the highest form of being. This path is difficult and thorny, especially for those who pass it alone. The boy must throw away his childish illusions, accept reality for what it is, and understand that even in its gloomy corners, there is gold waiting for someone to find it. To initiate courage, the boy must outgrow his baby state and become a hero. Unlike the eternal boy, the teenage hero with courage welcomes difficulties and considers fear a harbinger of his own greatness. According to Jung, the hero's journey starts with the unconscious, disciplined, and systematic labor of huge volumes. The teenage energy, which previously went in an unproductive direction, will climb towards a more mature mind. A young man is faced with internal conflicts, and his energy only exacerbates the issue. He argues with himself and the world, sometimes taking out aggression on those who don't deserve it. However, work can serve as an anchor to weather the storm. Just as athletes experience peace of mind after a workout, work can provide emotional calm that lasts much longer. It doesn't matter what type of work is done, as long as it is done carefully and deliberately. Work should be seen as a necessary, transformational force, worthy of respect and treated as a form of initiation. The establishment of a strong foundation through labor is the first step towards courage and personal autonomy. It is essential to minimize dependency on others, especially women. In many cultures, men are expected to wake up earlier than others and work hard to produce more than they consume. Laziness is seen as impotence, and courage goes hand in hand with help and support. Giving more than taking is a hallmark of a real man. The path towards achievement and courage is not an easy one. It requires trial, struggle, and a steep climb. Failure should not be a deciding factor but a call to collect one's anger and direct it towards reaching the top. To achieve true freedom and honor, a man must give himself fully to his cause and learn the independence of generosity. Thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery, and don't forget to pump your mind. Thank you for watching. and be sure to check out our other videos for more helpful tips and insights on mental health and well-being.